Well, good morning, everyone. On a beautiful, slightly overcast day, there were storm systems that went through at 3:30 in the morning. Oddest system in the world. The color on the radar was red and yellow and lots of heavy green for the rain, and I hardly heard any rain. Of course, I was in and out of sleep, but it was quite wonderful to get the rain. So everything is watered super nice. I am up at my bonsai oasis, and I'm telling you all, I am so excited to share with you what's gone on when I've been up here. So I've been up here for a couple of days. It's my first official week of summer, y'all, because I'm a teacher. And so last Friday was my last day. Monday was my first official day off, and after getting my oil changed, I cruised on up here and started to work. So much to show you in this episode. I'm so excited. Please stick around to the end. You gotta see what I saw up here. It's a treat. You gotta wait till the end though. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Some of you might have noticed right away in that open that things look a little bit different around fence area number 1. Did you spot them? Well, let's go back a few days, up to about a week ago, where I added some finishing touches to fence number 2. I put 2x6s and 2x4s up 2 feet at the front of it, kind of at the first beam. And then these, I had to go halfway from these posts because it only came to there. So I put those on the side instead of more in a couple of inches. But works pretty good. We're pretty strong. We're pretty secure. Of course, there's no breeze right now, but feeling pretty good. We have a shaded in fence area up at Bonsai Acres. What I love about this project is the wood that's holding up the shade cloth there, all recycled lumber. And some of my free stain from the Washington County Recycle Center on those boards to keep them fresh longer, right? And then I had a ton left over. I had about 3/4 of a gallon. So guess what I did, y'all? That's right, I protected the trail into the first fence. Doesn't that look nice? That's the green treated. Out in the elements for about 2 to 3 weeks, about a month and a half for the original build. But look at that, I had just enough to cover the rest of that and the two sides. Not on this side or that side, but looking pretty nice. And then I have so many big size of my lava rock when I sift my soil that hardly anybody uses. So I put some more black fabric here, and I just put the big lava rock right there, so it's kind of a smooth ramp up to the fence number 1 area. So ran it over with the four-wheeler a couple of times, and fantastic. I'll have so much more of this too, and people just are not using it. I don't use it, so it'll be good for a little ground cover here leading in. So it's starting to pretty up here a little bit. Pretty fantastic. I'm pretty excited. So in front of me is a Siberian fir or Siberian pine. I think it's a fir though. I never remember the exact. I got to double check that with my my buddy Neil. Back when Bonsai Acres got started, a friend of the family, Mr. Neil Kruger, let me borrow, just maybe even 1/10 of an acre, and I put some trees in the ground, and some of them are still alive today. But he found this tree. It was crooked and bent and grown weird, and he said, "Hey Dave, I think you'd like this tree," and I took it. And a couple of years ago now, we took a branch splitter and split this whole tree from top to bottom here with all these wires here, and I got 2 buds here. This was the branch that stayed on, and this popped out. Now we've had a little bit of brown on it this year again, but look at the new growth. We've got some new growth, about 1 inch thick in some cases, and this is still alive with a really nice branch down here. If this could grow up to be really a big branch, we could almost cut this whole tree off down to here. Then you'd have your taper. It's how we do bonsai, right? Got some wire scars in here from the top section. I had mentioned a couple of sections ago, blogs ago, that I was going to be taking off wire, and I never did that day, which is unfortunate. So today I'm going to take off all the wire. So I took the top wire off because that was eaten into those parts of the tree. And as I take this off, this is eaten into the tree as well. So we got to go ahead and take all this off and see how much bounce back this tree is going to have after having wire on for 2 years. It might go back to its original shape, or maybe after I cracked and split this trunk all the way up, maybe it's going to hold. So we put a couple layers of wire, 3 at the bottom here, because I really wanted this bend to take. And there is wire number 1. So I used copper wire on this. That's not going to be reusable. So it has survived a lot. I do work hard up here. I love it, so into it. I get so excited. But you know, sometimes my energies perhaps have been going to the wrong area. This is dead and it's right by the crack. This is on the back side, not next to the crack, but close. I want this to stay alive. And there's buds way down here. Way down there. One on the back side, one right there, one right there. That's just fantastic. So we got to pump this with some fertilizer now and make sure this thing stays. We got a couple of wild corkscrewy branches here. It looks kind of a crazy tree. We've got this hook right here, this gin that's kind of like a hook branch, but that was holding down the tree for this bend for a couple of years too, kind of with the guy wires. So we'll see if this is going to slowly go back to its regular shape. Not the end of the world if it does. This may end up being my only and main literati style bonsai because of the tall slenderness and then the foliage coming back down. So I can take some of the stuff up here and just have it come back down either this way, but I think a lot of trees go back down this way towards that bend. But we'll leave all this here. We'll let all this energy continue to grow and develop possible buds for next year. But we've got buds way back here. This one's young. There's a bud way back here on this branch. There's a bud there. We're going to be able to cut this tree wood tick. But there we have it. We got rid of the raffia. We got rid of the cellophane tape. We got rid of all of the wire. And this tree is still hanging in there. I'm super excited about that. And we're going to see where it goes, where it ends up, if it's going to be more than likely a literati style, which means this may come off someday. Or if we grow it out for a long time for sacrificial, thicken up the trunk, and then we make it a gin. We just strip it all and make it a gin, but we need 5-10 years of growth before it'll look good because otherwise it's going to be too skinny. So there's tree number 1. This one was just going to be pretty easy, taking off the wire, taking off all the stuff around the tree. We're going to put it back on the bench, and then we have the really fun project that I've been waiting for over a year now, but this whole spring I've been just chomping at the bit to work on. Do you know what it is? Write down in the comments while we take a little break here and see if you're right when I pull out the next tree. Who's going to guess it? Well, if you guessed my boxwood over a rock, you are right. This thing has been here a couple of times, twice this spring, and we never got to it. I had someone comment in worried about this tree that was sitting in my car for days and days and days. No, I brought it back into my apartment, and I've been trying to take good care of this thing. So this thing has been through a lot of fun times with me. This is one of my original trees. And if you go back to 2020, I've got a clip in here. I just posted this on my new Instagram account through Triple Root Bonsai with my buddies Mark and Alan. And it was such a scraggly little tree, and it was very narrow this way in the early stages. And look how now it's fulled out this way and not just this way. So it's over a rock. And now a couple of years ago, I took it off the rock and cleaned up some of the roots and put it back over the rock. But people were saying, Dave, that's too smooth of a rock. And I think they were all right. And I needed a better rock, but it still had to grow and get the roots down below so I could raise it up out of the ground, out of the pot eventually more. And so, yeah, this guy is going to get a repot, and I have a couple of rocks for you all to take a peek at. Okay. So here we go. Very curious what this is going to look like. As I've showed in previous videos, and I'll show it again for any newcomers, but this is styled after a tree that my son and I saw a couple of times up on the Superior Hiking Trail in Duluth, Minnesota, and northward, up towards Canada, up towards the Boundary Waters canoe area. And there was this tree one time where, and this is early, this might have even been before my bonsai journey. This could have been 10 years ago or more. But take a look at this picture, everybody. This is a tree on a rock. And this is real life, not bonsai. And so that was my inspiration for this project. Oh my goodness. Look at that. So look at that display of roots. So this is boxwood for you, everybody. Can you see that? Can you see all of these roots out here? And look at this. Now it's actually tighter on this rock than I expected, but look what we're gonna be able to do. I think we're going to be able to, like a toupee, everybody. This tree is a toupee, and there's that rock. Beautiful rock, a little round, nice and flat on the bottom. That was going to be for this tree. Look at that root system, everybody. Okay, we're not going to cut, I don't think, any roots today, or very little. If we do, it's going to be to make it more decorative where you can see the rock, because as you can see with all these roots right here, this thing overtook, this pot overtook that rock. Look at these roots. So you want to work on a fun tree with really good roots, and they look so gnarly from the beginning. Go get yourself some boxwood at your local nursery store. The boxwood have kind of craggy bark right from the beginning, and I just love them, and I probably should do more of them. That is stunning. And look at that pocket I created, right? Now I hope that pocket fits for the new situation here. When doors close, sometimes doors open. And one door closed for me, my tiger bark over a boulder. So again, if you go back to look at my tiger bark over a boulder, for 2-3 years, this thing was starting to get a nice root structure down a couple of cracks. It was looking really good. And this year, in my new apartment, my new dwelling situation, it perished. This was the boulder. I'm gonna bring up this pot now, this box, and see, okay, good. It almost covers the entire rock, which it has to do. So it's going to be flat like that, but I got to see, is this going to be able to be positioned? Oh my gosh, I am going to have to prune some things. I'm going to have to get some pressure on this rock with some roots and get some paths, and we're going to have to cut off some of these roots for sure. I don't want to cut a ton off, but I think I'm going to have to find out what roots are going to go over what section of this rock, because there are some that are pretty decently long, but there's so many of them. Now, if that rock doesn't work, and that's the one I was hoping for, I have this other scraggly rock here that's got a nice flat bottom. It's bigger than the one I had it on, not quite as round, and could that tree sit right up there? Right up on that yeah, right there. And it does fit there really nice with, there's a bulge of the rock coming up right there. You can spread those roots around, get that root going down this way, a couple roots in the back, these roots in the, really fits that rock actually quite nice. This rock I didn't think was as pretty, but when you lean it up, look at this nice peak of rock right here, some roots going right down this crack, right between here and here. We got some roots going down this side. Here's the rock again. And then the roots right here, and there's a rock right here again. Look, there's the tip of the rock there. We can clear out the roots here on this side, untangle. There's so many, there we go. And some of the roots can maybe come and flow down this low part right here. I think it's a better rock than that other rock. So I'm not gonna wire this to the pot because it's gonna be wired to the rock. So my good rock is right there. And one of the things about being up at Bonsai Acres is I don't have all my regular wire, but I do have a lot of copper that I've not used over the years, and it'll be plenty strong enough to tie in. I got some 16. I talk about this to people in our workshops all the time. We just have all this extra big because very few of us use this big of soil. I certainly don't. And this is going to take up some of the space at the bottom. The akadama is going to hold some moisture, and the pumice, really good for establishing roots. So is the akadama, of course. So first I'm going to find the position I like it on the rock and just tie the actual tree down. Nice thing about using this aluminum wire, or this copper wire too, is it's super strong. So as I tie it to this rock, I won't be worried about, you know, wrecking this, or having the wire just collapse and break. There's the first bit of wire on there with this tree. Go get it where I want it. And then we have this real big root coming down right here. See, there's the root. I want it to be right down there. And whether these survive or not, I don't think matters because we got all these down here. So I'm going to wire a bunch of these roots on each other down low on the rock. And right here is where I hope to get a nice rock right there to tighten that on. There we go. Okay, let me cut the extra. So I'm pulling this wire taut on this rock. Again, akadama and pumice. Get that position just right. And a lot of these roots are already in the rock down here. I think that's good for this position, for this iteration. Now, because I didn't wire this into the box per se, I have to be careful. I have to move slowly, and if I move this back and forth from Bonsai Acres to my home, that's got to be very careful in the car. And then, of course, in the car, when you're hitting bumps and everything, things can move and shift and settle. So I have to seriously think over the next couple days up here at Bonsai Acres where this is going to be housed. And we still have covered most of the roots up here, so that's super nice. Fit in this box really, really well. It'll stay in here for a couple of years. And we've got these roots trailing down the rock. We switched positions to my newly stained deck ramp that leads into gate number 1, and we can take a peek at the tree. Nice thing about boxwoods is they put out such nice group of 3 growth. You can always go from 2s to 3s pretty easily. Profile prune to begin with, I can cut all these down because it's super long. And we'll get this back into a profile, and then we're just going to kind of see what we're going to keep for long-term branches. So, and this is the front of the tree, so I got to make sure I'm pruning accordingly. I think this platform is going to work quite nice for 2 or 3 of us to be working on trees. We're going to see if we can open up and see this tree just a little bit more this year, but just let it grow. Level 1, when you see this tree, when it's up high on a pedestal or on my bench, you got the gnarly nabari down here that twists up to the left, splits into a twin trunk, and then I want to see what's happening next on the tree a little bit higher. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of creating a little bit of a zone in here where we can see this tree better on the inside. And there we can see a little bit of that trunk in there. Now this one's coming up a little bit high. I'll take that one out. Now it flattens out and goes low here, so we'll leave it at the moment. This one's growing inside. This one's a little bit too inside. I like it now that it's lower. Looking a little softer, a little lighter. Let some more light in there. Let some more back buds happen for this year. And then it's going to continue to grow over that root. So we got this kind of sphere of pad here, and we got this up here. It's a little bit thick over here. There's a gap right here. That'll grow in maybe with this branch. Something down below might back bud. I'm up here at Bonsai Acres, and I don't work on trees enough. Today I worked on 2. So before I leave, I'm up here for a couple of days. Before I leave, I have to stake out the cabin and do some of that work, but we're not going to do that tonight. We're just going to enjoy the evening. So yeah, until we pick up the camera again. It'll be seconds for you and who knows when for me. Boxwood over rock or boulder. Yeah, it's been a long time coming since I worked on a tree up at Bonsai Acres. Most of this Bonsai Acre vlog sessions have been me building the property. I just haven't gotten to working on trees up here, which is a shame. But I'm working on this property so I can relax and do the trees up here. And I know it's going to take years to bring this to its fruition, but I need to stop and smell the roses. I have to work on my trees. And so it was fantastic to get that boxwood over a new rock, which needed it desperately. And I can't wait to see that thing in a couple more years. So I am standing in an area that was kind of an eyesore all last year. Big old weeds right here with some weird land things going on, and some really weird land stuff going over here with all the weeds because of the old foundation from the people who had this place before me. So I affectionately am calling this my cinder block graveyard. And in the cinder block graveyard, I took a couple before shots. I had to go ahead and dig out all of these cinder blocks, and we're just gonna beautify this space. Now, one of the reasons I'm doing this, now I'm talking to my good old friends, Gay and Tim. Tim, he's been asking about, can I get my trailer up here, Dave? So now when he comes up, when I flatten this out, he can come in from the driveway there, he can swing right, and then he can swing right between the trees and all the way around to get back out. Because if he wants to come up and visit and spend the night, then he has a place to put his trailer, or anybody else for that matter. So we're fixing it up so more people can use it. And instead of building stuff with hammers and nails and screws and wood, this was a dig weekend, but I got a lot done and it sure feels good. 80 beautiful degrees on this Tuesday afternoon up on the Kettle River near my property of Bonsai Acres. And first things first, y'all. Yeah, for those of you that are old enough, a little nesty plunge there in the Kettle River. I've been working hard back at Bonsai Acres on digging up, it's the cinder block graveyard. Yeah, it's been a lot of work. It's all the wide ones, yeah, the bigger ones, super heavy, and it was kind of the foundation for what used to be there. I think there was at least one trailer there, maybe an RV, or there's just all kinds of cinder blocks, and this was the day that I tackled that front area as you drive into Bonsai Acres. I got rid of those darn cinder blocks. And there's even more down below, y'all, but I just can't dig out anymore. It's just filled it in with dirt. We got a lot more dirt to fill in, but you know what? I got this. It's time to be on the Kettle River and kick back and rest up at Bonsai Acres. I'll take you along the way. If I see some good images, I'll try to get them for you. Apparently, I'm not the only one on the river. I promised y'all if I saw something worth filming, I would. I've missed the takeoff twice. And if I sit here long enough, will it take off? Well, there you go. as promised, I delivered. I got lucky. Just as I was making that last paddle, though, it started to move, but I still got it on film for you. We can slow that down in post, and hopefully the blue heron turns out okay. Onward we go. Believe it or not, everybody, I found a caterpillar crossing the river. Have you ever seen that? Now, the next time I'm in the lure aisle at my favorite fishing store and they have a caterpillar bait, I don't know if they do, but I won't question it anymore, will I? Incidentally, I saw a jumping fish earlier. I wonder if I got a caterpillar. Can you see him swimming around, everybody? Frogs to be. So this is the sandbar upstream, probably about a mile, I would guess. I'm gonna get my toes wet in the water again and kick back and then just float downriver. So I'm gonna go back with the wind and downriver. So I really wouldn't have to paddle unless I was in a hurry. Nice thing about this river, it's shallow. Step out almost anywhere. And I have to admit, the only thing that would probably scare me or freak me out would be one is if a crayfish crawled on me. I just kind of freaked out by crayfish. But there was a fisherman who put his boat in last year and said that he got a 40-inch sturgeon out of this place. And if that thing just kind of by me right now, that'd probably freak me out a little bit. After cleaning out underneath the solar array and adding some mulch, I wanted this to be a clear area so I didn't get a lot of tall grass and, you know, walking in the wood ticks and all that. Just clean. It's a nice presentation with the brown mulch down there. And underneath the solar array is a power station. I'll explain. Here is my solar pump, the RPS, and you can see the lights are on, the sun is out, and according to my timer in the pump house, if it's time to water, it's ready to go. But if I want to disconnect this because it rained last night, we had a system go through at about 3 in the morning, I want to shut this off. Well, I can shut this off, the lights go off and that's good, but this is also a shutoff valve from the solar array. So whenever you're working with DC current with these arrays, you know, there's power, it's hot all the time and you have to be super careful. So I've got this power off switch here. If I can get the cover off, it's adult proof. There you go. So up is on, and down is off. So now I can go ahead and I can disconnect. So what I can do is just disconnect from this side because there's no power coming up to here. And they don't make these things the easiest to disconnect, especially if you have big thumbs. There we go. Disconnected. So the solar array comes to this box, it is disconnected, the pump is no longer on, and then I can hook it up to other things. Now, part of the reason that I wanted to create this nice area with not a lot of tall grass for the wood tick protection and just ease of use, not going through all the weeds and the water retention on the weeds, even though this isn't waterproof because water can still seep through here, this is a relatively dry area. If it just starts to rain, I come in here and grab my power stations. But there you go. This is my power station. This is my AC 180, and I'm going to go ahead and hook it up to the power here from the dangling guy here. Remember, it's not getting power from the solar array yet because the power switch is off on the box right here. And then this just comes right over here, and this goes into my DC input from my solar array. So I got some of the cinder blocks that I dug from the earth, the graveyard, earlier in the day, yesterday. Put 4 of them here, put a little dock up here with some extra wood. These are green and brown treated pieces of wood. And we're going to go ahead and turn this on and see what's happening. Okay, 87%. So I don't have to load this up very much further, but this is my first test run. I've not done this. The sun is through some hazy clouds, but I'll probably get some current. So let's go ahead and turn this on. And now we have power from the sun, and we'll see what's coming in for current. And it won't be very much, but as the clouds shift and move around today, I might get a few watts. Right now it's 65 watts. 65 watts is not a lot. I should be able to get on here with 2, 4, 6, 800 watts of panel. I mean, I should be able to get about 600 watts on a sunny day, not 66, right? 10 times that amount. However, it's a gray day. So it didn't matter. To get 67 watts out of what appears to be nothing on this overcast day is pretty cool. So as long as I don't need the water, get these things topped up as often as I can so I can use power. Now I use these for my drills and my saws and my battery rechargers out in the field. My Blue Eddy is fantastic. I have 2 of them. So I have the Apex 300, which is almost twice as much power as this. So wonderful stuff and gives me a lot of power, and I'm off grid as much as possible. So the new setup works pretty good. Shut it off, plug it into here, shut it off, plug it back into there. I'll bring my Apex out here later if the sun comes out, but that'll probably be a different day because that'll take a long time to charge, and I think I'm leaving a little later on today. So I was digging around this tree and I saw this movement. I thought it was going to be a vole or a mouse and look what popped out, everybody. And I hope I didn't hurt it. She or he doesn't seem to be in pain, just scared. And I don't know where Mama is. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy, if I got you. I don't think I did. Where's your mama or dada? Am I messing something up in nature here? Oh, you're so cute. Maybe I'll work somewhere else, huh? My friend is trying to hop away. Can't fly yet. Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go, buddy? Gosh, I hope it's safe in there. Wherever you go. Oh, man. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. I wish I had my good camera for some really good close-ups, but the cell phones these days. Oh, he's still in the edge of the woods looking at me. Maybe I made a new friend. He's a lot cuter than Porter the porcupine, who I haven't seen in a year. If I go closer, I'm sure he's going to go back deeper in the woods, but let me see if I can get one more shot for you. But there he is. Hey, buddy. I got a bunch of flies going on. Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, I'll see you maybe later tonight. We'll hang out. Wow, that was pretty cool. Now, I heard a big owl a couple of weeks back sitting out on the hammock, or by the fire, actually. And so cool. Oh, he's still there just on the edge looking at me, but... Oh, man, I hope I didn't hurt him. I'm feeling bad right now. I didn't see any blood. I didn't see any disheveled feathers. Man. Oh, that was awesome. An incredibly productive week up here. Spent Monday through today is Wednesday. It's only been a couple of days. But while up here, I was looking on Facebook Marketplace and I found myself a really inexpensive door for the side entry to my cabin that's already put together with 6 inches in mine, because I'm using 2x6 studs for the building so I can get more insulation in there to keep it warm in the winter. The door's all ready. So one door down, I have another door that I'm looking at, connecting with those folks. Then I'll have all my windows and doors for the main level. Then I'll just need the top skinny windows, and I'll have all windows for the cabin. But of course, first I gotta get the permit going. So the last thing I'm doing today is gonna go mark some territory, put a couple stakes in the ground so I can show the permit people where I plan to build this cabin. And wasn't that sight of the owl amazing? Oh my gosh, if you stuck around to the end here, thank you so much. This is where it all started. I was raking around here trying to get this mound down a little bit. It's built up, it's kind of odd, and I was raking here, and I hit the rake to the ground, and I saw this movement that I swear looked like some kind of, was it a mole? Was it a mouse? It was just the top brown part of his head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, did I just hit that thing? And it turned around and looked at me, and it was an owl. It was a baby owl, the northern swet, S-W-E-T, I forget the name. I flashed it on the TV for you here, sitting right here. And it walked around and then it went into the woods a little bit here, and I hope he's okay. I hope mom and dad got him fed last night or today, and he's gonna be fine. But oh my gosh, an experience really of a lifetime nature-wise. Now, I've seen a moose and its calf up at the BWCA years ago with my buddy Mark, but to see this up close, this baby owl that's pretty rare, I think it's a more nocturnal type of owl. Many owls are, I believe, but you just don't see them that young. And right there, no mom and dad fooling around. I didn't feel in danger or anything. They weren't telling me to get the heck away from their kid. But, oh my gosh, just it puts me in such an amazing place up here to see stuff like that. And that was absolutely phenomenal. So close, y'all. I was, from the tree to here, I was this close. Oh my gosh, I love it up here, and I love that you watch me all, so thanks for tuning in. Until soon. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited.